Welcome back to the Enfield Talking newspaper. Now we return to local news with Janet.
A community stalwart who is a well-known figure throughout Bush Hill Park will be much missed by residents of the area, his daughter has said. John James, who was better known as Jim, had lived in Trinity Avenue since 1975 and was a fixture in the Bush Hill Park area, with neighbours stopping to chat and pass the time of day when he was in his garden at the front of his home. The 81-year-old, who had 5 grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, died suddenly at home on June the 18th, following a heart attack. His daughter, Louise, told the Advertiser that since the death of her father, the family have been inundated by condolences from neighbours. Everybody knew him, she said. The bus driver would wave to him. The newsagents locally knew him well. We've even had a card through the door from the local barbers. And really I want to say thank you to everyone who gave him 5 minutes of their day when they would be passing by. Jim moved to Enfield from Newcastle when he was 17 and settled in Trinity Avenue after meeting his wife. My mum died in 2008, and if neighbours hadn't seen him for a few days, they would call in and check that he was okay. As well as a leading member from the Bush Hill Park Residents Association, a leading light at the Percival Social Club, he also ran the Enfield Youth Darts team.
A group of school children has been given the freedom only 2 wheels can provide after a pilot scheme taught beginners to take to the road on cycles. Pupils at Merry Hills Primary School in Bincote Road, Enfield, learned to ride a bike after just 2 sessions with coaches from Transport for London. With a focus on getting youngsters healthy and fit, teachers at Merry Hills rolled out cycling as part of the school's travel plan earlier this year by incorporating bikeability sessions into the daily routine. And Transport for London was so impressed with the success of the scheme that the school was chosen for a pilot of a new Bikeability Plus project, with children who have never ridden a bike before learning over the course of just 2 hour-long sessions with instructors. Year 5 and 6 phase leader and travel plan champion Nicole Gardner said it was amazing seeing their faces when they started to get the hang of it. They could not have been smiling more, and their parents were really proud of them. They couldn't believe they had learned to ride so quickly. The scheme is designed to make sure that as many children as possible benefit from cycling being incorporated into a school's travel plan, and aims to ensure no pupil is left behind with the bikeability programs. Merry Hills is hoping to keep working with Transport for London to help Year 1 children learn to ride on cycles without pedals or stabilisers, encouraging youngsters to get used to the feeling of instability on a bike. It breaks my heart in a way when children say they don't know how to ride a bike, Ms. Gardner added. Riding a bike is a skill they will take with them for the rest of their lives. They can ride bikes through the park, they can go on adventures, and they will be able to teach their own children to ride. And the bike fun will not come to an end. Plans are afoot to start an after-school cycling club in the next academic year.
Dinosaurs are set to come alive in a Jurassic Park-style attraction currently being built in Chinkford. Life-size animatronic prehistoric creatures are being specially flown in from China ahead of the opening of an adventure golf course in Southend Road, which is set to open at the end of July. Adventure Experience said it has invested in excess of £500,000 to build Jurassic Falls Adventure Golf, which will feature 18 holes set amongst half a dozen life-size robotic dinosaurs, a blood-red lagoon and a waterfall. The company has signed a 25-year lease for the 2,000 square metre site, which used to be Fairways Golf Range. 6 animatronic species of dinosaurs, with the biggest measuring 14 metres in length, are being flown 2,000 kilometres from China to Chingford to create the spectacle. The attraction has been designed by an architect renowned for creating golf parks in Florida and is being built by Oliver Mahoney and his team. This is the 10th adventure golf project for Mr Mahoney, having worked on the UK's largest adventure golf course at the Moby Dick Junction in Chadwell Heath. Mr Mahoney said, "We started in early April and it's coming along really well and is on schedule. New things have been brought forward to this project that are not seen on others. There will be educational features with facts and details about dinosaurs and fossils and their journey from creation to extinction. Part of the original driving range structure has been retained and will be used as a reception area, providing gifts, drinks and snacks, as well as an outdoor undercover seating area." Scott Sinclair, Managing Director of Adventure Experience, said, "We wanted to try and create an environment that is family orientated on their doorstep and one that takes them somewhere tropical. You can do miniature golf cheaply, but adventure golf is on a grander scale. This will be a unique world-class attraction on a smaller scale. From the roadside you will see life-size dinosaurs, gushing waterfalls and blood-red water. The animatronic dinosaurs will be quite a spectacle when they arrive and could create a bit of a stir along the A406. The local feedback I've had suggests there's not a lot on offer for families, and we're very passionate about getting families together. Ticket prices range from £8.25 for adults to £3.25 for children under 4.
A further £110,000 is to be spent blocking access to dozens of alleyways running behind households as part of a council scheme to reduce break-ins, fly tipping and antisocial behaviour. More than 70 alligating schemes in the secluded parts of the borough have been earmarked to receive the cash. Many of the alleys have become hotspots for fly tipping and havens for antisocial behaviour, and also provide concealed access points to properties. The latest tranche of money is in addition to the existing £100,000 budget for the year, and feedback from residents in areas where the alley gates have been installed has been very positive, according to the council. Since the project started, more than 435 alleys have been gated off, and residents for whom access to their properties is through the gates have been given entry keys. Daniel Anderson, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Environment, said, "This is a brilliant scheme that delivers excellent results and plays a huge role in reducing fly tipping, antisocial behaviour and burglary. It is understandably popular with residents, and we have taken the decision to expand the scheme this year to make residents feel safer, keep the borough cleaner and make it harder for people with mischief in mind to commit antisocial acts."
Opposition councillors called on a councillor with no shame to resign after he was convicted of a criminal offence. Former Labour councillor Nassimi Erbil, who is now an independent member of Enfield Council, was convicted of 2 fraud offences in relation to his licence to drive a black cab. Tory councillors feel this has made his position as a councillor untenable in the context of the Code of Conduct and tabled a motion calling for his resignation. Speaking at a meeting of the full council, leader of the opposition, Terence Neville, pushed Mr Erbil to go. He said, "If you look at the council code of conduct, at the moment there is no place for Councillor Erbil here. A convicted criminal is sitting in our midst and is drawing £10,000 a year from the public purse. It is a nonsense and a farce." He was sitting on the licensing subcommittee after his conviction, making decisions on other people's livelihoods, having been convicted of fraud in relation to his own. The only proper answer is for the council to vote en masse so that Councillor Erbil gets the message pretty sharply. I would urge those on the other side of this chamber thinking of abstaining to remember the code of conduct and their responsibility to it. The controlling Labour administration all abstained from a vote on the motion urging Mr Erbil to resign on the basis that it would interfere with the ongoing disciplinary procedure by the Central Labour Party involving him. Labour Group Whip and member for Southgate Green, Claire Stewart, outlined the party's position on the matter. She said, immediately upon notification of this matter, we informed the National Party and Councillor Erbil was immediately suspended. This is a Labour Party disciplinary matter and our party has taken internal measures. The party has instructed that any comment may predetermine his disciplinary and as such we will be abstaining. An Enfield Council spokesman said no action has been taken by Enfield Council against Councillor Erbil as none was required under the authority's constitution, as he was sentenced to less than 3 months' imprisonment and was therefore not disqualified from being a councillor. Mr Erbil was convicted at Southwark Crown Court in September last year and sentenced to 4 weeks' imprisonment, suspended for 12 months, fined £580 and also given 8 penalty points. Councillor Erbil has been approached for comment.
More than 2,000 bikes were hired last year as part of a scheme to help people with special needs to enjoy cycling. The inclusive cycling scheme at Bush Hill Park meant people could hire adapted bikes, including some that can take 2 riders, as well as bicycles for wheelchair users. To mark the success, a special day was put on with free cycle rides in the park on Southbury Road, with guest speakers and celebrity sports trainer Richard Callender welcoming cyclists. Peter Cripps from Bush Hill Park, who used the surface, said, "The staff are very good at helping me as I have not been cycling for 17 years. I'm 84 years old and this scheme enables me to get back on a regular bike. It's a wonderful feeling to get out into the open and cycle round the park. For me, it's been an exhilarating experience getting back in the saddle." Councillor Daniel Anderson, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Environment, said, "This scheme demonstrates the popularity of cycling in Enfield and supports our determination to encourage people of all abilities and in all parts of the borough to cycle. People are being asked to donate their old bikes to Special Needs School Westley School in Edmonton, where pupils are learning how to repair and maintain bicycles at their school shop in the North Mall at Edmonton Green.
Security was stepped up as serving troops, ex-servicemen and women and cadets from the armed services marched through Enfield. The annual Armed Forces Day Parade was one of 150 events held across the country to honour the sacrifices and dedication of the military. There was an increased police presence this year in light of the terrorist outrage in Tunisia, and reports that a march in South London was the target of a bomb plot, said the chairman of the Enfield branch of the British Legion, Brendan Farrell. Police had carried out security sweeps before the parade and we were warned to be vigilant, but it didn't spoil the occasion and everything went smoothly despite a downpour. The parade marched from Chayside Primary School in Trinity Avenue, Enfield, past the Enfield War Memorial, through Enfield Town to the Civic Centre in Silver Street, where the Armed Forces flag was raised and the salute was taken by the Queen's representative, the Deputy Lord Lieutenant of Enfield, Mike Duggan, and the Mayor of Enfield, Patricia Ekia.
After saying au revoir to a French market, Enfield will now be saying ciao to its first Italian market. Enfield Town will host the market at which visitors will be able to find Italian foods such as cheese, cured meats, speciality bread and pasta. Enfield Council Cabinet Member for Economic Regeneration, Councillor Alan Sitkin, said Enfield Town has played host to 2 highly successful French markets, and now is the time to welcome the new Italian market. The market will open on July the 10th and 11th between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m.
An estate agent isn't just going the extra mile for his brother, he's cycling 280 of them. Father of 2, Peter Nicholas, 48, of Holly Hill, Winchmore Hill, is aiming to raise thousands of pounds by cycling from London to Paris within 24 hours. He will be joined by friend and fellow Winchmore Hill resident, Andrew Hughes. The duo are raising money for Scope, a charity which has helped Mr. Nicholas's brother to cope with cerebral palsy. He told the Advertiser, "I thought I needed to challenge myself and show I was prepared to go out of my comfort zone. I've run a few marathons for Scope, but I only took up cycling a few years ago. We've been training for 8 months, riding up to 240 miles every week. We've done that sort of distance over a few days, but never within 24 hours. The ride to Paris will have lots of checkpoints to take rest, but if your ferry is late across the channel, you'll have to make up the time in France. We have to be in Paris by 1 p.m. the next day. Last year, because of the adverse weather conditions, only 8 out of the 287 riders finished the race." The former Edmonton County School pupil's brother, Nicky Nicholas, 64, has never been able to speak and is now confined to a wheelchair. He is cared for a home in Brixton, in South London, and has received help from Scope. Mr. Nicholas and Mr. Hughes have raised nearly £2,500 so far.
Teenage girls use ultrasound, a fake arm, and an ophthalmoscope to see inside their bodies and learn more about engineering in healthcare. Year 9 girls at Enfield County School in Hollywood, Enfield, were able to take blood from a fake arm and record an electrocardiograph of their own heart rhythms. They also used ultrasound machines to see inside their own bodies and took pictures of their retinas with an iPhone attached to a thermoscope. Enfield Council and schools in the borough are working together as part of Science, Technology, Mathematics and Engineering Week. A number of events will take place at schools, providing opportunities for pupils interested in STEM subjects to learn more about careers in the field. Councillor Efer Ofran, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Education, said, "This is an ambitious activity programme for children and young people across the borough. It is bringing excitement to learning and setting out some basic knowledge."
Scouts camped in 40-degree heat to prepare for the trip of a lifetime. Young people from Enfield are preparing to attend the 23rd Annual World Scout Jamboree in Japan this summer. With less than a month to go, the Scouts are nearing the end of their preparations, which include camping in sweltering conditions to acclimatise before they head off. Enfield Explorer Scout Ben Conway said, "I was soaked by the time we had put the tents up. I never expected it to be such hard work. We will need to make sure we drink enough liquids in Japan. Despite the heat, I'm really excited to be this close to going." Young people will be attending the Jamboree and will have the opportunity to take part in activities focused on discovering new cultures, the environment, sustainable development and global development issues.
Jazz hands and handstands took a group of girls to national cheerleading glory. The 9 and 10-year-old girls from Fame All-Stars UK won their category at the National Championships, despite it being their first appearance in the competition. The event, Jamfest Europe, was held at the Echo Arena in Liverpool and saw teams from across the country, as well as teams from the continent, compete in a range of categories. This year is the side's first season of competition, and they won their event in the face of stiff competition. Head coach Liz Gordon said, "It was literally amazing. It was incredible to see the whole development process. To watch them in training go from newbies and growing their skills from where we started to watching it being performed was great. The girls gave it their all, and the look on their faces when they won was priceless. Their coaches, Marcy De Silva and Cab Nahu, have been fabulous. The All-Stars train at Southgate College in High Street, Southgate, and coach a range of ages from 4 upwards. They took a number of different age groups to the competition, but it was the young ones who came out on top. As well as winning their category at the Nationals, the girls also won the right to compete this summer at the USA Jam Fest, one of the largest cheerleading competitions in the United States." Ms. Gordon added, "We're definitely looking forward to competing in the States." Fame All-Stars UK will be having tryouts to add to their squad for the trip to America and welcome all ages and skill levels into their ranks.
The wife of an Enfield man wants him back, even though he thumped her after insulting her disabled daughter. Gemma Crossland was in the public gallery supporting her 32-year-old husband Jason, who'd been held in custody since February. Crossland of Harsland Drive, Enfield, pleaded guilty to assault by beating when he appeared at St Albans Crown Court on Thursday. Prosecutor Kevin West told the court on the night of February the 22nd that Crossland had been out in a car with his wife and 3 others. They pulled up at the Texaco service station in Kennington to fill up. He said Mr Crossland made derogatory remarks about her disabled daughter. She got out of the car. He followed and hit her, causing her lip to bleed. She shouted for the staff at Texaco to call the police. The police arrived and he was arrested. Crossland also admitted he was in breach of a 10-month suspended sentence imposed by St Albans Crown Court after he had robbed a woman of her handbag in Watford. The woman was walking home at 7:30 when Crossland came up and snatched her bag. She shouted, "My purse!" and 2 off-duty police officers tackled Crossland and he was arrested. His defendant said Crossland was supported by his wife. He has 3 stepchildren, one of whom suffers from epilepsy. He does not remember his behaviour that night or why it happened. She said Crossland had been in custody since February and his wife desperately wanted him home. Ms. Rao said he had abided by the other terms of the suspended sentence. Judge Martin Griffiths passed a total sentence of 7 months, 6 months for the breach of a suspended sentence and a further month for the assault. It meant he was immediately released from custody because of the time that he had served. He told Crossland, "You shouldn't be hitting your wife or anyone else."
A wine bar, newly opened in Enfield, will help make the town centre a destination of choice, according to council bosses. The local authority wants to create a thriving nighttime economy to rival central London, and councillors are hoping the Eco Vino Teatro wine bar at the Dugdale Centre will help with this aim. Described as the perfect place to unwind before theatre shows at the arts venue in London Road, Eco Vino Teatro officially opened its doors for the first time recently. The centre is owned and managed by Enfield Council. Alan Sitkin, Cabinet Member for Economic Regeneration and Business Development, said, "We want to create an increasingly thriving nighttime economy in our town centres, and our new wine bar will provide a pleasant and vibrant atmosphere in which theatre-goers and visitors can spend an evening with friends. This is all part of our wider strategy to provide residents with alternative leisure venues to central London and make Enfield Town their destination of choice when they are deciding where to go for a night out."
A graduation ceremony celebrating the achievements of Enfield's schoolchildren has helped to give the youngsters a taste of university life. 400 pupils aged between 7 and 14 from 16 schools across the borough donned purple gowns and mortarboards for the ceremony at Middlesex University in Hendon. Handing out the certificates was former Lee Valley High School pupil and football freestyler Billy Wingrove, who has notched up 50 million hits on YouTube and broken 3 world records. Gold, silver and bronze awards were presented to each pupil depending on how many hours of extracurricular activities they had completed throughout the year. Middlesex University's outreach manager, Elita Eliades Ahmed, said, "It's always thrilling to watch each youngster celebrate special moments with families and friends. The enthusiastic children have made a massive commitment to outside learning over the last year, with exciting events ranging from art and sports clubs at schools to forensics clubs and even activities at London Zoo and Crown Courts across the capital. We hope they continue to explore the fun and learning that can be had outside school."
Police attended a disturbance in which people reported seeing armed men wielding a gun, a machete and metal poles. Officers were called to reports of a man with a gun in the market square of Enfield town. One man was seen to assault an elderly woman outside a shoe shop, and 3 men were seen in a confrontation with staff at a sports shop. A number of men were seen to enter the shop with weapons before running off. No weapons were seized, but police investigations are ongoing. 1 man was arrested for a fray.
We've reached the end of our programme for this week. Thank you for listening. So from the team of Janet, Colin and Keith and Robin on the controls, it's goodbye.
Bye.
Please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet, put the cassette into the packet and return it to us as soon as possible, in readiness for the next edition. Don't forget you can call Diane de Jersey regarding any help you may require in connection with Enfield Talking Newspaper. The Enfield Talking Newspaper will be with you again in 1 week's time.